Hello and welcome to the Relaxation Meditation and Mindfulness online training course. I'm so happy that you've made the decision to join, and you certainly will come out the other end with a fantastic new life journey. My name is Ali Rosen, also known as Ali Billings-Caisley, and I'm going to take you through these 5 workshops where you will learn, amongst other things, how to alleviate stress in your daily life. And remember, where the mind goes, the body follows. The 5 workshops, some people will finish with, you can finish them in 4 sessions. And if you want to stretch it over to 5, that's completely okay. The way it works is that you will get a course outline, and you will learn using a series of slides and my voice and conversation, which will take you through each of the modules. There will also be some live sessions as well. And at the end of each session, so there are 5 sessions or 5 modules, or 4 if you prefer to do it in 4. At the end of each module or session, you will have a multiple choice series of questions to answer, and then also a 100-word essay to write about what your journey was along the way on this series of workshops. Sorry about the noise in the background. I have a little puppy. Her name is Oreo, and she's busy playing with a toy on the ground. Got to keep my eyes on her. So after each session or block of the series or module, whatever you're comfortable to use as your language, you need to have completed all the tasks in order for you to move on to the next one. At the very end of the sessions, once you've completed all of them successfully, there will be an online series of questions which you will need to answer and then submit. And on successfully completing the questions, you will be awarded a certificate of attendance for the Relaxation, Meditation and Mindfulness course. You will also have a review to do on what you thought of the course, if you had any challenges, which is a feedback form. Over the series of the workshops or the modules, you will have constant access via email to the tutors, and you will also be able to join a live Q&A session from time to time, which will be available on Zoom. If you have any issues with the program, please do send an email. There is also a contact phone number if you're just not able to get anywhere or you find yourself stuck. It is really, really important to make a commitment, which you already have, and that's incredible, and to go through each module step by step. Apart from the slideshows and the live audio bits of the programs, there will also be other opportunities where you will have to do practical meditations in your own time. And then also, obviously, as part of your final essay in each module, you will need to feed back about your experiences. So that's all about the workshop. I'm absolutely delighted that you've decided to take this big step, and we are behind you every step of the way. So coming back to a little bit about me. So I was born in England, in Hampshire, and I went to 7 different schools by the time I was 11. 6 of those were junior schools, and 3 were in Hampshire and 4 in South Africa. My parents moved around a lot to find, I guess, their happy place. And whilst I'm born and bred in the United Kingdom, in England, and I consider myself British. A lot of my life was spent in South Africa, where I graduated high school, university, got married, had 4 children, bought property, got divorced, and then came back to England with some of my children, 3 of my children. And then after living in England for about 8 years, I remarried someone I'd met in Cape Town, and we moved to Southern California. And again, another 8-year cycle. And after moving to California, after about 2 years, my second husband and I separated, and he left the country, and me and my children continued living in Southern California. I had property, my children were in school, I had a lot of responsibilities. But at that point, I decided to climb off the Ferris wheel. My whole life, I'd been trying to achieve greater and bigger things, and I had been determined and created bigger goals, and I smashed through glass ceilings. I was working in a man's world, crazy hours, and earning so much money, but I never stopped. I was physically fit. I went to the gym and I did some cycling with my children, but I was never present. It was only, as I say, when my husband and I split up, I decided to start being present, and I took 12 months off, and I completely changed my career. This was at the age of, I was in my mid-40s, and I had 2 mortgages, a car payment, school fees, college fees, and a car payment for one of my other children. I had a lot of responsibility, and so I just leaped. I finished my first graduation in health and wellness, and in Southern California, and I set up a business there, and it was doing really well. And then my 2 younger children really wanted to come back to the UK and finish their education here. In the meantime, my daughter had married and had a baby, and so she stayed put. And I returned to England back at the end of 2009 with my 2 younger children. And that's where I am today. Over the years, I've increased my toolbox of diplomas and qualifications and skills, and I'm really excited to provide not only this workshop, but also the retreats I do, the meditation and mindfulness workshops, and many other things. So enjoy every step of the course. We are holding your hand every step of the way, and may you get great joy and pleasure from the curriculum. Before we go any further, I want to at this point just quickly zap through the weekly workshops, what you will cover. This is done in your own time, but they are broken down into weekly modules. So you can speed ahead, which is not really advised to do, or you can just do it week by week, and there are exercises and homework between the weeks as well, which is really important that you do all of those too, to get the most out of your training and head you in the right direction. So week 1's key learning is called Where Our Mind Goes, Our Body Follows. Key learning is personal responsibility, the awareness of internal dialogue, understanding you have a choice of what you pay attention to, training your brain to focus through mindful awareness, and what's happening to the brain when we meditate. Part of this week, there will be a variety of meditations. There'll be guided meditations on recordings on this workshop, and you will have a script as well, so you can practice them at your leisure, at home, in a comfortable position. So on to week 2. Week 2 is the miracle of mindfulness and meditation. And the key learning here is understanding the need to be gentle with yourself. And it's also a discussion of transferable skills and understanding being with what is. For For example, listening skills and accepting skills. Moving on to week 3, this is where we start looking at you and just kind of taking a snapshot of where you are and where you're going. And this is the section where you start to really think about who you really want to be. And it's about creating your own personal brand. And you could actually apply this to a business if you're starting a business or you have a business, or this is something that you want to put into your business. It's reframing you and changing your personal brand. And it is basically based around, obviously, what you have learned in week 1 and week 2. So the key learning here is reinforcing the learning of personal responsibility around stress and the choice to elicit relaxation. It's also considering how telling a new story about your life may enhance the way you feel. When you let go of blocks and ingrained perceptions and belief systems, which you will learn going through this journey on this workshop, you then free yourself up, and it's almost like a burden has been lifted off your shoulders, and it's almost like an enlightening process where you really start to come alive and transform, and you just release all those burdens, those subconscious burdens that you don't even realize that you have and you've been carrying around with you. It's also talking about opinions, beliefs, perceptions, and also identifying that these opinions, beliefs, and perceptions are not always true. They're just someone else's words or something else that someone told you. And they are open to transformation. And again, you will learn this through your workshops. And also, you learn all about using mindfulness to experience the wonder and curiosity. It's about stopping, taking a breath, just living in the moment, just being right now, right here. And also connecting to the absolute miracle of nature. I mean, we are part of nature. The sky, the air we breathe, the flowers, the trees, the animals, everything is part of nature. You know, that's the bigger picture. And it's also, you know, it's very relaxing, very invigorating, and it's really a way to really reconnect with yourself. It's also about recognizing, invoking the senses, can actually change the way we experience our perception of reality. So it's all about our perception of what our so-called reality has been, and how we then actually realize that those are just someone else's opinions that we've actually adopted, and someone else's beliefs and mindsets that we've adopted. And it could be coming, you know, it could come from our parents, our teachers, family, friends, and also it could come from generations ago. And all we do is just relive the patterns of our parents and our parents' parents and their parents. So this is a really, really powerful week. And then we go on to week 4, where you can actually do this either over week 4 and week 5, or just complete it in week 4. It's entirely up to you. So week 4-5 is all about practicing gratitude and a more beautiful version of living. So you've gone over the first 3 modules, and you've learned, you know, all about setting your intentions and your meditations and being more mindful and being in the moment and connecting with nature, and how the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems work, and what happens to our bodies when we meditate, and what happens to our minds as well. So in this final block, the key learning, the key learning is reinforcing the fact that we have a choice of how we experience well-being in our lives. It's also learning about how you can cultivate appreciation, and it's little things like, you know, life and the world is such a busy place right now. And at the moment, I'm recording this during the coronavirus lockdown. I've been in lockdown, I think, about 118 days now. And as like many people, there have been great changes in everybody's lives. And it really is a time for reflection. And it really is a time, it's almost like the universe and Mother Nature have given us all a big kick to say, wake up. You need to look at your life, you need to review your life, and you need to actually understand and believe this is your opportunity to make your life a better place. So considering our potential is also something that you'll learn, and the beautiful gift of sight and what you can achieve with your inner vision to support positive change and achieve new goals in your life. And through these sessions, and particularly in week 4 and 5, you will be given the tools to do that. And it's up to you, and you take responsibility for implementing that. All I can do is guide you step by step, talk you through things, through slides and video connections and video recordings, etc. But at the end of the day, it's you accepting. You become the witness in your life, and this enables you to create the positive change. And it's important to remember that you have to surrender to what is. So some things in life you can't change. So the sky's blue, that is the way it is. You might live in a house made of brick and mortar. That is what it is. The sun is going to, come up at 5 a.m. every morning or cyclically, and the sun is going to set every day cyclically, and that is nothing you can change because that's part of nature. So it's all about surrendering to what is and creating space for movement and change. And do remember, whatever we deny, we just cannot change. So that's all from me for now. Once you have listened to this recording, just click on the first module and you will be on your way to start your training. Take care and enjoy.